Jungkook ordered up the food. He stood up, removing his coat, handing it over to a waiter, who brought it with him with such care. To say she was already losing the challenge could be an understatement. The perfection with what he ate and sipped his wine. She exhaled and finished her meal. He didn't object her from drinking either. Like he said, he won't act like a professor for the meantime. Wine must be fun, getting your ways every time, bragging off those looks. Jungkook, it's not fun, but it works. The more they study, the more it will help them in future. And once they're out of here, the little fangirling will stop too. Wine. And what do you do whole day? I can't be studying or planning what to teach in next class. Jungkook, my father owns a business. I help him sometimes. During weekends, I train. Wine. Train what? Jungkook. Boxing. She looked at him with disbelief written all over her face. His body screamed muscles and fitness, but she never thought it would be this. Jungkook, careful. You're losing. She rolled her eyes and leaned back against her seat to deny. Who was she kidding to? The only thing that was keeping her away from him was the thought he was might be boring. And now that she was slowly starting to know him, it was the complete opposite case. Why? So, if there is no problem from my side, you're really considering taking this ahead. Jungkook, I see no problem with that. Was it alright dating your professor? There was no such rule denying that. Or was it really, really alright? Jungkook, how about I drive? She took a moment but nodded. She was suddenly interested in knowing him more, not because he was not boring, but because she wanted it to be about them and not in a professor student relation. Jungkook paid up for everything and stood up. The waiter brought his coat back and helped him wear. He just said his father owned a business. That must explain why he was wealthy. A professor alone can't simply afford this much wealth. She felt an itching desire burning inside of her, and instead of killing it, there she proceeded with it. She stepped near him and fixed the collar of his coat. Jungkook looked down at her, letting her do so much. But she walked out without making an eye contact. He knew she was flustered, and won't deny he felt a weird feeling inside of him as well. Something so electrifying, even if it was for a fraction of a moment. He walked after her, one hand slipped in his pocket, and guided her towards his Bugatti, parked outshining all the other luxurious cars present in the vicinity. Like a gentleman, he held open the car door and she took a seat in. It was her first time in such an exotic car, but she still would fight if anyone said the car was hotter than the man in the driving seat. Jungkook drove with one hand while the other rested on his thigh as he skillfully reversed the car and took it out of the parking. Jungkook, you didn't tell me about your hobbies. Wine. Still working on them. Don't have time for those. I'd rather go out for outing with friends or stay in bed if I ever have time. A student life is busy. Jungkook, then go out with me on a weekend. I show you how to do everything while still taking out time for yourself. She looked at him with an amused look. One look and she couldn't move her eyes away. He was extremely attractive, especially under those neon lights. Ryan, are you asking me out on another date? Jungkook, yes, he said without any hesitation and stopped the car outside her home. When he turned, their eyes made a contact. It was so deep, something pulling them against each other, something so strong which made it hard for them to breathe properly. Vine was first one to look away and got down the car. She was about to leave but stopped. Vine, would you like to come inside for tea maybe? Jungkook agreed and parked his car going inside with her. He took a look around while she ran to her room, picking up everything she threw around while getting ready. Since the door was open, he could see all the makeup and accessories spread everywhere, the clothes going in all directions, but she was quick to fix it all. As if she was too used to it. When she came out, Jungkook was busy looking at the picture frames. Wine, take a seat. I'll bring some tea. Jungkook, Wine, you must be tired. Come sit down. I'll be fine with water. Wine took a seat. It was a little awkward at first, but he was quick to change the topic. They talked about their likings or dislikes. A random series played on the LED, and after a few minutes, they were completely comfortable, with Wine half laying over the couch. Wine, it's a crime, not liking ramen. Her feet were near his thighs, and he traced a finger over her anklet. She didn't know a simple touch could do so much to her, the ability to take her breath away. Jungkook, and what else is a crime? He asked, tracing his fingers over her calf, and looked in her eyes. The eye contact, the weird sensation, the electricity, it was all back, and this time she got off her seat, getting near him, and he pulled her in for a heated kiss. He swore he never felt this attractive towards someone ever before, that it almost killed him, keeping his hands to himself. He pulled her flush against him and kissed her so roughly, earning a blissful sound out of her, his hand pulling on her hair and other locked around her waist. She held his shirt tightly and got on his lap. He pushed her down on couch, hovering above her all the while. never breaking the kiss. But when they did, they panted heavily and looked at each other and chuckled. Jungkook, I didn't know you'd be this wild. Ryan, why? Does it maybe make you want to do it more? She teased, and he groaned, leaving a few kisses against her jaw and neck. Jungkook, so are we going on the date this weekend? Ryan, I'm learning something useful. Why not? She said playfully and kissed him again. Their night spent like this, never going too far, but laying there on the couch and sleeping in each other's embrace.